This week on Marketplace Middle East, rebuilding after revolution, 2 years after the Arab Spring, how the post-revolution states could benefit from the plan for post-war Europe. Plus, a rocky road ahead for Egypt as we speak to the Prime Minister and ask him how the government plans to tackle the country's economic troubles. This week, MME comes to you from the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. One of the focuses this year is on the road ahead for the Middle East, specifically how to rebuild the post-revolution economies. But could the region learn from what happened here in Europe at the end of World War II? Leonie Lacani finds out.
The ravages of World War II left much of Europe devastated. Then an American program known as the Marshall Plan was put forward to rebuild Europe. Today, some in the Middle East are proposing a similar program known as the Arab Stabilization Plan, or ASP, to rebuild the post-Arab Spring economies.
The US Marshall Plan, which was applied to Europe after the Second World War, but whereas that was to address the risk of the spread of communism, this is really to address the risk of the spread of extremism in the region.
In the post-revolution economies, growth is slow. Investors are shying away from putting their money into a region that remains politically volatile. Jobs are scarce. The fear is economic instability will breed further discontent.
When you have nearly half your youth and nearly half your population unemployed, you get a very explosive mix.
Many economists in the Middle East have long called for the promotion of the private sector to create jobs. But the founder of the ASP says to get the process going, governments have to collectively put their money into sectors that will create the most jobs.
We need $100 billion of infrastructure investments in our region every year. And for every $1 billion invested in infrastructure, particularly in the oil importing countries where the need is greatest, we can create 100,000 jobs.
That's a tall order in a region that remains unstable. And bringing together such vast groups under a common vision is a challenge. Many believe this is a chance for the Gulf Arab states to take the lead. The oil-rich nations have plenty of cash and few avenues for investment today, with the US and Europe still reeling from the global downturn and debt crisis. Putting Arab money back into their own region could be in everyone's interest. Nasser Saidi proposes the creation of an Arab Bank for Reconstruction and Development as a vehicle to facilitate the funds. Where this bank would be based, who would lead it, and the logistics still need to be worked out, but Saidi believes it's a necessity.
When the Berlin Wall fell, Europe told the countries of Eastern and Central Europe, here are the sets of laws and regulations, the institutions that you need to put in place. And we will help you do that. An Arab Bank for Reconstruction and Development would focus people's visions around that institution.
For the Arab countries in transition, post-World War Europe may indeed be a model to emulate. But many believe success will require a united Arab front. Leonie Lacani, CNN, Abu Dhabi.